And good evening and welcome back to another episode of the Pelican Softball Report. These are our 2026 high school softball previews, and we're trying to touch every team in the state of Louisiana. And yes, we've got some work to do, but we've made our way to French Settlement today, and head coach Blake West joins us. Coach, welcome.
Doug, thank you for having me. I think it's awesome y'all are putting this together. Look forward to seeing all the interviews, and I know you got your work cut out for you, reaching out and doing all these, man. But again, just thank you for having us on here today, and I'm ready to talk some ball with you.
Look, I'm proud to do that, and that's one thing you'll find from me, Coach, is that when it's I can talk for hours on it, and my wife, it drives her crazy because I'll come home and want to talk to her about it, and she's like, leave that there. So, but first of all, let's talk about the hardware behind you. Congratulations, you got some trophies stacking up back there. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yes, sir. Thank you. In 2023, we won the state championship, played Montgomery, beat them 3-1. In 2024, we played Montgomery again.
Right.
And in that 24 season, they edged us. They edged us in that game late and pulled that one out. But all in all, very fortunate, very very blessed to have taken this program to Sulphur a few times, and was able to come away with some hardware.
Look, we started our coverage really of Sulphur in that area. We called it the Dash for Frash, and it started right after the playoff, or right after the regular season ended last year. But here's what I'm finding out: that Dash for Frash starts right now. If you're not preparing for Frash Park right now, you're not going to make it if you start just preparing a little bit later. So tell me about your off-season work and some things that you guys do when it's not officially the season.
Well, our off-season, it's we've got a lot of girls that are doubling up. They're playing multiple sports. A lot of multi-sport athletes here at French Settlement that contribute heavily to both our softball program and our basketball program. So our time getting our girls together, we really got to work things out and try not to overwork them too much. But one thing we did this year a little differently that I think is going to make a huge difference in our programs, and I think it's already showing with the basketball program right now. Those girls, they're on a heck of a run. They're ranked, I believe, number 1 in Division III non-select right now. But we've added a strength coach, and our girls, they've been really getting after it in the weight room all summer, all fall, and I really can't wait to put things on the field this year and see that transition to on the field throughout the season for us.
So 23, you win it. 24, you're in the state championship game, and now you're putting things in that make you bigger and faster and stronger too. My goodness.
Yeah, we're all in. I would say French Settlement's a town and a community that's all in and really dedicated to their sports programs here. We've had some success in the past, but that's not something we want to really settle on.
Right.
We reflect on it. We're happy that we've had that success and was able to build that, but now it's at the point where it's time to sustain that success.
Look, I know the answer to the question on there too, but you've got to watch your scheduling at the first of the season, because your basketball team's making a deep run on there too. So does that affect anything when you schedule some early February to March games?
Just the workload on our players. Like I said, trying not to overload them too much,
right,
to keep them fresh for both my season, the bulk of the softball season coming up in March and April, but also keeping them fresh, for their playoff run that they're going to be going on in basketball as well. And you'll see with our schedule, we're really back heavy.
Right.
We really load up March. We really load up April. And I found that's worked very well for us going into playoff time. There's always that big debate of, in April, do you take off, and kind of lighten up the back end of that schedule and rest your players, or do you just load up and go for it? And at least in my experience, when our schedule is loaded, when it's back heavy, when we're playing almost every day, we've been able to hit that second or third week of April in stride and really make some runs and then go for these state titles.
All right. So before we get into the team and your departures and some new players and things like that, tell me what it is about a game at French Settlement. What is the tradition, that cool thing that says, you know what, Doug, you need to get down here and see one of these games?
Oh man, if you come here for a big game, Doug, you're going to see fans lined up down the field. I think we hosted a quarterfinal against DeQuincy in 23, and the atmosphere is just electric. You know, it's not the kind of place you want to come into in the playoffs and have to play us, because it's going to be loud. It's going to be hard to hear. It's going to be hard to communicate. And if we build a little bit of momentum, we like to take it and run with it.
Look, I've the days of things. So I grew up baseball. I mean, it is. And of course, football is king around here. So I thought. And softball was just that thing that, boy, and I get myself in so much trouble for this. And full transparency, I've learned that this is not correct. But it seemed like it was just something for the girls to go do until we started covering it. And then I realized these girls they outwork the boys. There's no doubt about it. When you see a practice, I've watched softball practices and I've watched baseball practices, and these girls outwork them, and it's not even close.
Oh yeah, look, I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I started my coaching career in college in 2012. I did a stint here in 2012 and 2013, assistant coaching baseball. And I was a head coach of Vornado High School in 2013, 14, 15 baseball. Built a program from the ground up over there. But when I got the opportunity to make the switch to softball, and I took over this program here at French Settlement that you know, it had been kind of stuck in a rut for a few years, man. But the girls we took over, just their work ethic, just the way they get after it, and the speed and the intensity that they bring, it's an entirely different ball game, man.
Look, it is something to be around. And just this summer, so I raised two boys, and this has nothing to do with our interview, but it's part of the story in this. I raised two sons. They're old. They got married now, and this summer I had both my first two grandchildren, and they were both girls. So if you're looking for a 1U team, if you got anybody out there, I've started using the left hand. They're throwing the ball well at 1 year, at 8 months old. And so, man, I better get into softball full speed.
Hey, I had my first daughter in October, and she's already got a little ball in her hand, man.
Look, isn't that awesome? And I tongue-in-cheekly say that, but it sounds like we need to make it down there for a game. We'll find a home game to come down there and just soak in the experience, because, you know, you get the greatest job in the world. I think I get to go around to all these places and see the traditions there. And it sounds like you guys just really bring it.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man, if you can get down here in April, I know playoff is crunch time. I know it's tight. I know you're going to be getting pulled in all kind of different directions around the state, but I'm telling you, man, you catch a big playoff matchup here, it will not disappoint.
Look, I'm looking forward to it without a doubt. That you had me at tailgating, I believe, is where you had it. All right, let's jump back into some of your key departures. Who is it from that team last year that man, you said, dadgum, we hate losing her, but she left this on the program?
Look, we lost one senior last year. She was an outfielder. She was also a pitcher for us. You know, gave us 4 quality good years with the program. But we bring back a lot of depth this season. You know, we're bringing back a lot of girls that due to injury, maybe were kind of thrust into the lineup last year when maybe they thought they'd be playing a little bit different role. But I'm really excited about all the depth and experience that we're bringing back to our team this year.
All right, tell me, let's go through it and tell me some of those that you're really leaning on this year.
Well, look, we have 2 juniors that are returning first-team All-State players for us. One of them is AVKANS. She's a middle infielder. The kid's just a electric on defense. You know, she's one of them second basemen. Those little flares over first base in the shallow right field that you're like, oh, I know this isn't going to drop in. Man, she flies over there. Covers ground really like no second baseman I've ever seen. And then our other all-state returner is a junior, Malloy Miles. She's been in the circle for us ever since her 8th grade year. She's an Ole Miss commit. Yeah, she can really sling it. She's got all the tools you look for in a pitcher. She averages just over 200 strikeouts a year. You know, and she's our workhorse. She's somebody that you know we really lean on heavily, and we feel like she keeps us in every game that we play. We've also got quite a few more players that are returning from injury that I really expect to make an impact for us this year. We've got a sophomore, Remy Gautreaux. She battled through some knee injuries, had a knee surgery, ankle surgery. She was very limited in interaction last year, but still was able to produce. Getting her back hopefully this year is going to make a huge difference in our lineup. Another junior, Lainey Wilson. She tore her ACL in basketball season last year. She's someone that we really are going to, you know, enjoy having back in the middle of our lineup. Kid can absolutely smash, you know, has some big time playoff home runs for us throughout the years. And a senior we're getting back, Kenna Miles, she contributed heavily to our 2023 state championship team. She's actually been out pretty much for the past 2 seasons. She missed the bulk of her sophomore season with a pretty severe elbow injury, had to get surgery on it after a little freak play at the plate early in the 2024 season. She rehabbed it. She was coming back, and then in 2025 last year, she tore her labrum in her shoulder, had to have a surgery on that, missed the whole season. But she's back. She's healthy, and really, you know, looking forward to get her and some of those other players that had to miss a significant chunk of time last year back into our lineup this season.
You know, and bless their hearts, you hate to see that, but you know it's a part of the game. But injury-free ball is so tough these days because kids play year-round, but it's what separates those teams. But you've got to be injury-free, and you've got to keep that continuity because it's arguably the toughest division that you guys are playing in with the Kaplans and Ginas and Pine Prairies and Sterlingtons, and you just go down the list. You can't look around and find a weak team in your bracket.
Oh yeah, look, you named off, you know, quite a few of them there. Once playoff time gets here, man, it's the real deal. You know, you kind of hit that second round, and it's like, okay, there's no more tune-up games.
Right.
You know, it's the real deal from here on out. And if you're not healthy, if you're not playing your best ball when it matters, when it counts, you know, you're going to get ousted pretty quick.
Look, and you almost wish that and I know you can't do it, but in baseball they've went to 2 out of 3 because you hate to see these games decided on one game in one day. But these pitchers, they'll pitch all 3 games, and I guess that's the idea in baseball is that you're using different pitchers. And but I'm greedy and selfish and want more softball.
Yeah. Oh no. Hey, look, I'm with you on that. You know, trust me, there's been 1 or 2 times after some tough losses late in the season where I'm like, oh man, if we could just get them one more time, you know, or if we had another shot at them, I feel like the outcome would be a little different. But you know, yeah, hey, like you say, you know, the pitching, the rules are different, the mechanics are a little different, and I know all of that factors into, you know, those subtle differences between the baseball and softball world.
It is one of the things that doesn't change is hard work, and that player that you maybe didn't expect was going to make a difference. As you see, and you pick your team from the tryouts and all of that, or somebody that's coming back, is there somebody in the back of your mind that says, you know what, this is somebody nobody's talking about, but she may come out and make a difference for us?
Oh yeah, look, no doubt, man. We like I said, we're bringing some starters back that have been on some deep playoff runs, have a ton of experience. We're getting those injured players back, but one or two this year that I'm thinking can take some big steps. We got a sophomore in Hadley Spellman. She kind of took over our catching role last year. She stepped in. She did a really good job with it. And Lord knows, at this level, it's not the easiest on a catcher sometimes when you have a pitcher that's throwing 60 plus with spin and all that. But as a freshman, she handled our pitching staff well. Her bat increasingly got better. She puts in a ton of work in the off season. She's someone I think can continue to progress within our program. And look, we've got a little 8th grader, Amelia Rocheteau, that got a good chunk of playing time last year as a 7th grader. And man, the kid flies around. She's got a good feel for the zone. And I'm looking forward to her in her 8th grade year, seeing if she can take that next step, playing varsity ball for us.
Look, you guys get the better of it being able to have. You talked about your pitchers been in the circle with you since 8th grade. What an advantage that is to be able to have your junior high kids that are making a difference, and they can at this level in this sport from 7th and 8th grade, because some campuses can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. We're one of the fortunate schools that we have our junior high attached, and we get access to them. And some of them kids, man, hey, they're ready for it. They can play. They get the opportunities, and they seize it. They take it. They run with it. That was one of the things when I took over this program in 2018, 2019, we had a really good crop of junior high girls try out. And it was some of them that was able to stick with me and really build this program and lay the foundations for where we're at today. So no doubt those younger kids, man, they make a huge difference.
One last question for you, Coach, because I'm respectful of your time and I don't want it to go too terribly long, but I guarantee you we'll talk to you and your girls a lot more this season, and we're putting French Settlement home game on our calendar today. There's no doubt about it. We'll figure out which one we're going to make it down to. But I want to ask you this: if emergency comes up and you say, you know what, I've got to go here and I've got to turn my lineup card over to this player, and she's going to be our manager, our head coach here, and you don't have any concerns, who is that girl?
Oh, it's Malloy Miles, without a doubt. She's, she's got the softball IQ. She's got the knowledge of the game. She's the leader of our team. She's one when she speaks, everyone listens. When she's on the field, everyone knows we have a chance, no matter who we're playing, no matter what the score is.
Well, there you have it, Coach. I appreciate your time. Without a doubt, you've given us a great look inside the French Settlement program. The settlement, as we saw on there, we certainly are going to make it down there, no doubt about it. But we appreciate you taking time with us today.
Thank you again, Doug, for having me on. Just want to say I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. Look forward to seeing you down the road and hopefully seeing you down here in French Settlement sometime this year.
It's a guarantee. Guys, this has been Coach Blake West with French Settlement, and stay tuned. Don't forget, weeknights at 7:30 p.m. is when we are running our 2026 softball previews. It is the Pelican Softball Report, and as always, it's right here on 446 Sports. We'll see you next time.